G'day, my name's Jim and I just want to apologise for the audio on this video. The first 5 minutes is really bad, I apologise. It does get better after that, I promise, and the other episodes are good as well. So, yeah, look, sit back, relax, try and enjoy it, and just try and ignore the first 5 minutes of bad audio. Apologies. Right at this moment, I think there's only 3 people I would consider to be my heroes. Lance Armstrong, Steve Irwin, and Peter Brock. Now, no matter what part of the world you're from, the chances are you know at least 2 of those. Well, today, you're about to learn about the third. Aussies just call him Brocky. He is, in my mind, the best Australian race car driver who has ever lived. Every year, there's a race called Bathurst, also referred to as the Mountain. It's a race that usually takes around 12 hours to complete. It's 1,000 kilometres of thundering V8 supercars. In the good old days, that I like to consider was the real days of racing, they had a saying, race on Sunday, buy on Monday. These cars were real cars, and not racing cars with plastic covered over the top of them to just make them look like a normal type of car. These were the real deal, real cars. Brocky won Bathurst no less than 9 times, won Sandown 500 9 times, and even won the Bathurst 24-hour. 30 to 40 years ago in Australia, there was only 2 types of families. You were either a Holden family or a Ford family. We were a Holden family. My mum drove an LJ Tirana, the exact same car that Brocky came first in Bathurst in 1973. My dad owned a VC Commodore, the exact same car that Brocky won Bathurst in 1980. I currently own a VH Commodore, the exact same car that Peter Brock won Bathurst in 1983. Then, on September the 4th, 2006, Steve Irwin died. He was 44 years old. Brocky was killed on the 8th of September. He was 61. Let's just say that was a pretty fucked up month. And considering Lance Armstrong had retired from cycling the year before, it was just the cherry on the top of the fucking cake, wasn't it? So, to kick a pretty fucked up drug habit, I decided to start working on my car. I spent close to 10 years doing it up, and I dedicated it to my hero, Peter Brock. Eventually I put it in some car shows, and I won 4 trophies for it, which I was pretty happy about. I've never won a trophy for anything in my life until I started archery a few years ago. Then on April the 1st, 2017, Cyclone Debbie decided to deliver a very unfunny April the 1st joke by supplying some of the heaviest rains. Thousands of kilometres of Australian coastline had never seen such a deluge in up to 45 years. The local river here rose 14 metres above normal in less than 24 hours, and by the time it was over, my 4-time trophy-winning show car, my tribute to my hero Peter Brock, was sitting under 8 feet of mud, oil, water and raw sewerage. It took a year to get our life back to anywhere near what you considered normal. After all, I'd lost my workshop, I'd lost all my tools, I'd lost my cars, my caravans. I'd lost pretty much everything that was in the house. After gutting the car, taking all out the seats, carpets, lights, she was taken over to my mates at the mechanics to start the 2-year process of getting the motor rebuilt, new alternators, starter motors, coils, pumps. Look, let's just say fucking everything. Every bit of running gear was pretty much totally replaced. Well, after all, it was full of water and shit, wasn't it? And then, 2 weeks ago, she came home. And this is where our story is about to restart, as I have a very, very long road ahead of me, replacing most, if not all, the wiring, redoing every single bit of interior. All the lights have to be replaced, as the shit that was floating around in that water just ate all the rubber seals, it ate all the reflective material, and it looks like I have to give the car another respray now as well, because whatever the fuck was in that shit ate half the paint off it as well. Well, so what I need to do is crawl up in a ball and cry, actually. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old shit spotlights off. They're going to come off. I'm going to... Then that's the wires for them there. Trace them back. That goes to a relay there. Where is it? There's the relay. So I'll take those off. Then I'll start tracking down what all these wires and shit are for. Oh, fuck me. No. What a cunt of a job. I literally am gonna fucking cry, I think. We've got fucking LEDs and stuff in here. I'm gonna pull those out, I believe. There's all shit in there. And yeah, the real fucking fun of the ball. Get in here and show you. I need to put my headlamp on. Look at this for a clusterfuck. So not good. Most of these have all been cut. More there that are all cut. Just absolute fucking nightmare. All these fuses are probably all old and shit. They're probably gonna need all... I'm thinking of replacing the fucking fuse box in there, actually, because she's just fucking butchered. Yeah, the rest of the car needs yeah, slight fucking clean up, eh? And it's actually in good condition compared to fucking what it was a couple of years ago when I first went under. Oh dear, at least fucking we saved the roof lining, because the roof lining, it didn't actually touch the water because it had an air bubble in there. So I'm thinking of pulling out the console, the cluster, and putting in a custom cluster instead. I don't know. So that's what we're doing anyway. Day one, crawl up into a ball and cry. Not happy. Oh well. What can you do? What can you do? Just fucking a day at a time and just try and clean all this shit up. That's about it. Look at all this. I don't even know where fucking half of this shit is even supposed to go. Oh yeah, the motor runs, by the way. It does run, but the mechanic hot wired it. So they would have just basically ran fucking the lead here. That would go to the ignition, for sure. And this one here would go to the coil. And that's it. She's old school. Doesn't need fuck all. But at the moment, nothing on the dash works. No lights work. Well, I ain't got no lights in it, but I've put the fucking... I put my multimeter on there, and there's no power coming through for the lights or anything like that. There's no power coming through the dash. It's nothing. There's nothing left. So that big one there, that's the stereo. This cunt here. I don't know. Alright. Well, it's not fucking... It's not sucking itself, so I better get on with it, I guess. I'll catch us in a while. Techno.